People usually ask me that I should talk about this one of the Pharaoh called Cleopatra. Because in the last show I talked about one of the Pharaoh called Hermeticus. Today I'm talking about Cleopatra. Who is Cleopatra? Who was Cleopatra? There's no how we'll be talking about the history of Egypt that we will not even talk about a woman, a female queen, a female ruler called Cleopatra. Go to Egypt today, the Egyptians don't joke with her name. You will see her name in so many of their fantastic places. You see her name there, Cleopatra. Cleopatra. Who was she? Who was she? Was she beautiful? Was she charming? Was she politically astute and bent in using both her gender and her outsized power to further her needs? Was she? Before we proceed, let's quickly know who was she. Cleopatra was born to Egyptian king Ptolemy XII and to an unknown mother in 69 BC, that's before Christ. Cleopatra was a member of an ancient Greek dynasty that have taken over Egypt in 305 BC. Can we say that a woman can rule a nation? Is it possible? Should women rule the world? This is a question to every one of you first. Should women rule the world? The law of precedence says if it has happened before, it can happen again. So there's no doubt about that. It has happened in the ancient Egyptian where a female ruled them and there was no problem. So if it has happened before, it can happen again. Let's proceed. Though the Ptolemaic kingdom has adopted some Egyptian religious tradition, it ruled from the largely Greek city of Alexandria. As a result, Cleopatra grew up speaking Koine Greek. Though she was reportedly the only one of her lineage to also learn Egyptian, her life would be inextricably bound to unrest in Egypt and the politics of Roman Empire. Now, how did he become ruler? How did she become ruler of Egypt? How did you rule Egypt? When her father died in 51 BC, Cleopatra was 80 years then and was plugged into a controversy over which of the Ptolemy's 12 children should rule Egypt. They were deliberating. As a fantastic and very smart woman, at first, she ruled jointly with the younger Ptolemy 13, even marrying him in a nod to Egyptian tradition. But the younger king wanted the throne. The younger king wanted the throne for himself, and civil wars so broke out as they formed faction to help them gain full power. In response, Cleopatra had to flee. She briefly flew to Roman-controlled Syria. And that was what her father did also. Cleopatra's father has been sympathetic to and reliant on Rome during his rule. The very simply were no different, and they quickly aligned themselves with a different side in Rome's own brief civil war. From her exile in Syria, Cleopatra turned to Julius Caesar, then a general and politician intent in becoming Rome's sole dictator, for help regaining her throne. She quickly aligned herself with Julius Caesar, so that for her to gain her whole political power, in order for him to regain his throne, to regain her throne. So what happened between Cleopatra and Julius Caesar? What happened? Let's see. Despite dramatic age difference, Caesar was about 30 years older than Cleopatra, and the fact that he was married, they began a romantic relationship, and he pledged his support for her. Then in 14 BC, while fleeing Caesar's troop, Ptolemy XIII drowned in the Nile River near Alexandria, with Egypt in the hand of Caesar. That was how the young girl Ptolemy XIII died. He was drowned in River Nile. Then Cleopatra used that opportunity. She took back the throne as her own, swiftly married her 12-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIV, and declared him her co-ruler. Imagine. She gave birth to a child her contemporaries assumed to be Caesar's son, whom she named Caesarion. We can find the origin. So let's see what then happened again. Cleopatra and Caesar relationship lasted until her murder on the Ides of March in 44 BC at the hand of his enemy in the Senate. Cleopatra has been on an extended visit to Rome at the time of Caesar's murder. And briefly remained there in the hope of convincing the Romans to recognize Caesarion as the rightful heir of Roman power. Imagine this. When we're saying that women, they have some statics in their operation. Soon, though, she returned to Alexandria, when she is thought to have had her brother assassinated by poison before taking up her throne once more alongside Caesarion. Let's now see what happened between Antony and Cleopatra. When Caesar was dead, but Cleopatra's relationship with Rome was far from over. Roman General Mark Antony, who have ascended to power as one of Rome's 3 joint leaders, or we call them triumvirs, demanded a meeting with Cleopatra in an effort to continue the Egyptian-Roman alliance. Eager to maintain Egypt's close relationship with Rome, Cleopatra traveled to Tarsus in modern-day Turkey to meet him in 41 BC. Then what then happened after the meeting? Cleopatra is believed to have arrived in Tarsus in high style or a sumptuous badge. Cleopatra invested her ocean excursion with carefully chosen costume, divine association, expensive textile and jewelry, music, and exotic essence. And she began a torrid Jove affair with the married Antony. Imagine. Who moved to Alexandria to be with her. After the death of Julius Caesar, she moved again with Antony. Then let's now see what befell the Cleopatra. That made the fall of Cleopatra. But Antony's infatuation with Cleopatra and the reported excessive of their life in the Egyptian seat of power led to both their downfall. The Roman ruler plunged into outright war with his co-triumvirs and his own people, who resented what they saw as Egypt's influence in Roman affairs. Then after a battle in 30 BC, the Egyptian queen realized that Antony's troops were headed to total defeat. So she barricaded herself in a royal mausoleum and told Antony she planned to kill herself. In response, Antony stabbed himself, eventually dying in her arms. Then Cleopatra attempted to negotiate with Octavian, her lover's former co-ruler, but when she realized he intended to take her captive and parade her in the street as a prize, she again barricaded herself in a tomb with some servants and killed herself. Likewise with poison. The rule of a dynasty was over, and Egypt was taken over by Rome. This is how Cleopatra ended her life. According to the research, it was believed that Cleopatra was a woman of the most brilliant beauty and at the acme of intellectual power. But he wrote about the Egyptian queen hundreds of years after her death. Until today,